Hello, welcome to Teaching Tuesday. I'm Heather McGee. Today we're going to make a crazy weird thing out of paper. This is called a Mobius strip. Mobius strip. And it's got a turn in it. But the crazy thing about this is if you follow around with your finger, it looks like it only has one side. And how can you have a piece of paper that only has one side? We're going to do some tricks with this. So join me today to experiment with Mobius strips. M-O-B-I-U-S. Now today you don't need a lot of resources. I have one piece of scrapbooking paper. You can use whatever paper you'd like. I'm using scrapbooking paper because you can definitely tell that there are two separate sides to it. A pencil and a ruler so you can make some lines, a pair of scissors to cut out strips, and some Scotch tape so that you can tape your strip together. Let's begin. On my piece of scrapbooking paper, I've taken my pencil and ruler and I've divided it into 1.5 inch strips. You see that? I've just measured it out and now I'm going to cut some of those out. You have plenty of time to measure them, so go ahead and stop the video, measure, cut some out, and I'll be right back with you. Do you have a pile of strips cut? I have a pile here. These are 1.5 inches wide. You can make them narrower, you can make them wider, but this works pretty well for what I'm doing. Now, let me show you how to make this crazy Mobius strip. Mobius was named after the man who invented it. Okay, so take your strip, bend it, see how both ends would go together? Now take one side, flip it over just one time, and now tape your two ends together. Put a piece of tape on each side just to make sure it stays there. There. This is a Mobius strip. Now, we've got a couple activities for you to do with this to show you how crazy it is. First of all, we have a two-sided piece of paper that now only has one side. Isn't that weird? Now, let me show you. And you could do this too. Take your pencil and you're going to draw a line down the middle of your piece of paper. I'm starting right here where they're taped together. See that? Now just keep going. You may have to move your piece of paper around a little bit. I'm going to go right down the center. You keep going the whole way down. Now if you want to use your ruler to measure it so you're exactly in the middle, that's okay. It's going to be a little difficult to move your ruler around in there. Keep going. Wait, I was just on the colored side. How did I end up on the white side? This is weird, isn't it? Keep going. Right down the middle. Oh my gosh. I came back to where I started. How did that happen? But there's a line on both sides, the white side and the colored side. Isn't that crazy? So you didn't even pick up your pencil or flip the paper over, and you've had one line. That's crazy. That's one of the neat properties of a Mobius strip that makes it different from other things. Interesting. Now we're going to do another experiment. We're going to cut this in half and make two. So the line that you drew in the middle, you see this line here? You're going to cut it. So I'm bending it in half a little bit to get it started. I'm going to cut right on that line that goes down the center of my Mobius strip. It's going to cut on that pencil line that I made earlier. This way we can have two of them, right? And we'll have two smaller ones. So we'll come back to the end. There we go. You ready? I'm going to open it up so we have two of them. Oh no! We only have one! How did that happen? We cut it in half, didn't we? But we've got one big curly Mobius strip. This is crazy. Let's try another one, okay? So I have another strip. Take this one. Remember, to make it, you're going to put it so it looks like the two sides are going to go together. Turn one over part way. See that? We're only turning over half. And now we're going to hook them together. I'm going to tape here. We're going to try cutting this again, but instead of cutting right in the center, we're going to divide it into thirds. See this? So there's part here and part there. Do you see how that's going to work? There we go. You can see it. So I'm going to cut a third. And I'm going to stay on that line the whole way around. Let's see how this works. Do you think we can just make one circle with it this way too? Okay, so we'll get that started. I'm going to cut it so that just a third. We're not in the middle anymore. And just kind of little by little, we're going to move along here. About a third of the way from the edge. Hey, wait a minute. Look, how did I end up on the opposite side? Keep cutting. This is crazy, isn't it? You think we're going to get a really big piece this way? Will we end up with two pieces? Will we end up with one? Let's find out. Are you ready? Holy moly, now we've got a great big loop and a smaller loop. How does that even happen? Let's try another trick. Now these are going to get a little more complicated to cut as you're going through. So littlest guys, if you're just beginning your scissor skills, you may need some help from one of your adults. Okie dokie? So take another strip. This time, we're going to, as we go to put it together, we're going to flip one side once and flip it again. So now the colors match up. You flipped your side 2 times. You still have twist in it. And this time, we're going to try and cut it again and see if it does the same thing as the other one. But this has got a full twist in it. You can tell it's full because it lines up. The colors line up. If you're using paper that's colored on one side, you can see it better. Okay, we're going to try in the middle again. I wonder if it's got 2 twists in it, if this will make one big strip again. So we're experimenting a little bit to see what will happen. Kind of keep going along there. Okay, ready? Let's see if it makes one. Oh, now we have 2. Remember, we put one and then another. We have twisted it the whole way around so that it matches up again. And when we cut it in half, we have 2 strips, but they're hooked together. What do you think will happen if we twist it 3 times? You think we can make it in there? Well, let's try. Here's your piece of paper. There's the color side. There's the white side. You would flip one side of it. 1. Flip it again. 2. They're matching. And I'll flip it one more time. 3. So now they don't match again. The sides don't match. But you flipped it 3 times now instead of just 1 or 2. So we're going to cut this one also. We're going to cut it in half. I don't know what this one will do. Do you think we could get even more twists in there? It sounds like a good experiment to try. Flip this over. Maybe we can cut it easier this way. This one is really curly, so it's harder to keep the ends separated so they don't fall into each other and I don't cut them in half. What happens with this? Well, let's see. This is just a big mess right now, isn't it? You have to fiddle with a little bit, but with the 3 twists in it, it's like the Trinity knot. It's got 3 loops to it, and they're all hooked in the center. That's really cool. We started out with a plain old Mobius strip. We did 1 flip of the piece of paper to make this cool thing that's a 2-sided piece of paper that only has 1 side. Have a great time experimenting and showing other people the magical properties of your Mobius strip. Have a great day.